if you watched my first video, it was more of, I don't want to say a ramble, but a little bit of a ramble where I just explained the channel, what kind of content is to come, and I also pulled some cards. Now today I'm going to be making a bracelet. So in my I Am Home business, one of the things that kind of started me in that business was creating bracelets. And I love the metaphysical properties of gemstones, and so that's what I want to do today. I thought that the beads would really give a nice tingly sound, and we could talk about the stone meaning and really see what we are creating for March. So what I did first, because I have like probably 80 different types of beads, is I went around with my pendulum and decided which beads to choose. So since March and with St. Patrick's Day, I really wanted to have a green theme bracelet. And so I basically went through all my containers and just asked if there was a bead in that particular container that needed or wanted to be in the bracelet. So for me, with the pendulum, yes is back and forth, and no is side to side. So you can see how quickly that changes. So it's pretty neat. This particular pendulum is lapis lazuli, and it's pretty neat. So last year I was in Soul Shift, and so this was one of our tools that came that year. Alright, so I'm gonna try not to be too loud because I know beads can be a little noisy. I'm gonna set them down, and let's tell you which beads I chose. So the first bead I chose is, try to grab it with these nails. The first bead I chose is moss agate. Alright, and so I really like using my intuition when I'm doing this. So I kind of use the pendulum, pick out the beads, and then I research the meanings. A lot of them I kind of know what the meanings are, but it's always nice to read up on them because there's gonna be certain words that will trigger for you. So moss agate, I have my notes again. Moss agate is about healing and growth. There's very much like a strength and victory feeling, also grounding in new beginnings. So if you think about where moss grows, so moss grows on the north side of the tree, and growing on the north side, you're not getting as much sunlight, and it's kind of like harsher environments, but yet that is where moss likes to thrive. And so you have to have this like strength and this resilience factor to grow in less than ideal conditions. And that's what I really like about moss agate. The new beginnings, the grounding aspect of it, right? Like really feeling rooted Also a very healing and strong crystal. So it strengthens the root chakra. It helps with closure and healing emotional situations. It also gives confidence to face challenges. And again, a lot to do with being resilient and resolve. So what I like about the Bloodstone in this particular mashup, if you want to call it that, is that the Bloodstone is going to help closing that chapter, where the Moss Agate is going to help you with those new beginnings. So the next one I have for you is African Turquoise. Okay, so African Turquoise is not the same as turquoise. When we think about turquoise, it's a totally different gemstone with different meanings. So African Turquoise is about evolution and transformation. It energetically opens your minds. There's elements of development and metamorphosis, renewing your spirit and your energy and your path in life, right? So this stone is really going to give us that boost of energy that we need. I don't want to say lucky, but it has that abundant quality to it that is going to just help boost us and elevate us as we are going through these transitions and changes. Now the last bead I have is Cloudy Quartz. So basically Cloudy Quartz is clear quartz with some gray inclusions. Now clear quartz is really good at amplifying the energy of the other crystals that it's with. There's this programmability that you can do with it. So you can basically, your intention, it will hold that intention until you cleanse it and kind of release that intention from it. With the gray quality, again, we're kind of getting into that protective quality. So while we are kind of going through ending a chapter, new beginnings, and this transformation, the Cloudy Quartz is going to amplify that energy, but also hold us in that safe container so that we can do what we are meant to do. The very last element of the bracelet, if I can pick it up, is I am going to put a Tree of Life charm. Try and show it to you better. So we all have seen the Tree of Life. It's a very popular symbolism. What the Tree of Life is symbolizing to me this year is balance, right? We need to have that balance. We need to be, rooted into the earth. We all have heard about grounding, but yet we need to grow strong and we need to stretch our limbs, right? We need to stretch our limbs so that we are reaching towards, if you want to call it the heavens, the universe, whatever it is, right? And we kind of put our feelers out there and we absorb all that, in the stillness, we absorb that information. We download that information and those insights, and then we integrate that back into our physical body. So with the Tree of Life, we have the strong roots, but yet we are flexible. We're able to integrate all that life is throwing at us, and we're able to keep that balance in life. And it also kind of reminds us of the cycles of life, right? The seasons of life. What season are you in right now? And how can you embrace the season you're in, or embrace the new season that you are entering? So that is what I have Okay. And I like to use a piece of stretch cord. So this is just a clear elastic stretch cord. It's 0.7 millimeters, which I like. So I kind of have a little bit of a system, but I think I'm gonna switch my system up a little bit. I'm gonna block the cloudy quartz together here. Typically, I like to bead my bracelets over a bowl just in case things, go astray. Then the bowl is there to catch it. So I'm gonna do 2 cloudy quartz beads, and then I'm gonna put the tree of life, and then I'll put 2 more cloudy quartz beads, and then I usually block the beads, but today I feel like alternating the rest of them. Okay, where are we gonna start? Start with the moss agate and the bloodstone and the turquoise. So these beads that I'm using, they're 8 millimeter beads. And we'll start the cycle over again. Sometimes it's hard, especially when you're using similar colors, and I put all the beads in one container to sort through them. But I've been doing this for a long time, so I think I've got it. I like it. It's turning out great. There we go. And I should say, so what I'll be doing then, I'll be posting this bracelet for sale. And of course I can take orders to make similar ones based off of what size you need. This one is what I kind of call my medium. And I think I'm going to need one more bead. I'm going to need one more moss agate. Now that I'm looking at them. Okay, here we go. Which one is So you'll have to tell me if you like this video. I'm thinking about putting a little background music in, since there's a lot of kind of silences as I'm going through this. Because I don't mind, and I would love to build bracelets with you guys and just kind of teach you a little bit more about them. So I need to get one more. I need to get one more bead before we can finish this off. So I'm gonna pause for a second. Okay, so I have the one last bead that's gonna go on. What I like to do, once I find it here. Okay. So what I like to do is find a bead with a larger hole to end with, so that I can tie my knot. Now, I normally don't have nails on, so it's gonna make this process a little bit trickier, but I'll get it. And tie it one more time. Now, the trick that I use is I use some super glue. I like to super glue the knot and then slide it into the hole. One, because I don't like the look of knots on stretchy jewelry like this, so I trim up my ends. So these scissors, they did have an elastic, or not an elastic, a spring at one point in time. They were spring loaded, but I've lost the spring a long time ago. I had bought them when I was doing a lot of quilting and making rag quilts. So that's another hobby that I have that I haven't actually done in quite some time. So I have some glue, and I just put it on there and slide that knot into that bead. So then this is our final result. Isn't that pretty? So I want to thank you again for joining me today, and I'll show you. So this is how it looks when it's on. Thanks for joining me today. Again, if you liked this kind of content, just let me know, and we will maybe make a new bracelet every month, or if you think we need to do bracelets more often than that, we can do that too. Just before we go, I'm going to, instead of using a smoke smudge, this is basically a smudging spray that I've made. So I'm just going to give this a little cleanse before it goes to its new home. Thank you so much for coming. of